Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're taking a look at a linguistic shortcut that you probably use every single day without even realizing it. Honestly, cracking the secret behind this specific grammar trick is going to instantly make you sound more natural, more fluent, and just way more concise when you speak. Let's jump right into it. This is the case of the missing if, decoding implied conditions.
Okay, so to really get how this works, we've got to start with a pretty dramatic story from our source material. Imagine this. It's the middle of the night, and a fire breaks out in a woman named Janet's apartment. It's a genuinely terrifying scenario. Basically, a blanket on her sofa got just a little too close to an electric space heater. Now, Janet was fast asleep, right? Completely unaware that a fire was literally spreading across her living room. But, thank goodness, her neighbors spotted smoke pouring out of her window. They acted incredibly fast, literally throwing rocks at her bedroom window until she finally woke up and got out of there. Janet was obviously incredibly grateful she hadn't been hurt.
Now, looking at that intense life-or-death situation, our source text pulls out this exact sentence to summarize the whole ordeal. Janet would have kept sleeping, but the neighbors woke her up. I want you to just process that for a second. Read it again. It perfectly captures the alternate reality of what almost happened versus what actually happened to save her. Grammatically speaking, this is a conditional sentence. It's talking about a condition and a result.
But here is where our grammar mystery actually begins. I've got a question for you. Look closely at that sentence we just read. Where exactly is the if? I mean, we're always taught that conditional sentences, those alternate reality scenarios, always rely on the word if. Like, if this happens, then that happens. But in this sentence about Janet, the word if is completely missing. Nowhere to be found. And yet, you instinctively understood the condition, right? So, how does that work? Well, the answer lies in this grammatical concept right here, the implied condition. This is our main culprit for the missing if. An implied condition is basically a grammatical structure where the if clause is entirely implied. We literally don't say it out loud, but the listener just implicitly understands it. The secret sauce that makes it work is that we're still using those conditional verbs, words like would've or couldn't have, right there in the result clause. It's honestly a brilliant shortcut. Instead of spelling out the whole clunky hypothetical situation, we trust the listener to fill in the blank. It makes our speech so much faster and way more dynamic.
Now, of course, we don't just randomly drop words from sentences without leaving some sort of grammatical breadcrumb trail. To actually spot an implied condition, you need to know what signals to look for. And there are three major clues. Three specific keywords that tell us a phantom if is hiding just beneath the surface. Those words are but, without, and otherwise.
Let's start with clue 1, the word but. This example brilliantly illustrates how the word but functions as a disguise. Look on the left. We have a totally natural-sounding sentence, the fire would have spread quickly, but the fire trucks weren't far away. We've got our conditional verb phrase there, would have spread. Now, check out the right side. This is the hidden grammatical blueprint. What the speaker is actually implying here is, if the fire trucks had been far away, by using but, we introduced the reality that interrupted the disaster, and we completely ditched the need to say that long, clunky if clause. Here's another great, super relatable example from the source. On the left, I would have missed my flight, but my friend called and woke me up. Think about how often you say things exactly like this. You state the disaster you narrowly avoided, I would have missed my flight, and then use but to introduce the hero of the story. The right side unmasks the real condition, if my friend hadn't called. See how much more effort it takes to say the right side? That but structure is just so elegant, it cuts right to the chase and masks the disastrous condition beautifully.
Moving on to clue 2, the word without.
This word pops up all the time when the hidden condition involves needing somebody's help, relying on resources, or requiring a specific item. Take a look at the scenario on the left. I couldn't have paid my school tuition without your loan. That's a really heavy, grateful statement. The conditional verb couldn't have paid sets the whole stage. But instead of a full if clause, we just use the preposition without and follow it up with a noun phrase, your loan. Super efficient. Over on the right, we reveal the hidden if clause, if you hadn't loaned me money. They both mean the exact same thing, for sure, but the version with without just feels so much more direct and conversational, doesn't it? Now, what's really fascinating here is the emotional weight this word can carry. I never would have succeeded without your help. I mean, that's the kind of sentence you hear in an Oscar acceptance speech. It's punchy. It puts the spotlight exactly where it belongs, on the success and on the person who made it happen. The grammatical translation on the right, if you hadn't helped me, well, it's perfectly fine, but it feels a little bit academic, a bit too textbook. The implied condition on the left is really what gives spoken English its rhythm and its heart. And finally, clue 3, using otherwise.
Whenever you hear the word otherwise, I can almost guarantee a conditional verb is trailing right behind it. Check out this intense example from our source material. I stepped on the brakes, otherwise I would have hit the little girl on the bike. Talk about high-stakes communication. The speaker starts by stating the definitive action they took in reality. I stepped on the brakes. Then comes our pivot word, otherwise, followed immediately by the devastating conditional result. I would have hit the little girl. It really goes to show how everyday grammar isn't just about boring rules. It's literally the vehicle we use to convey serious, heart-stopping consequences.
Let's put otherwise under the microscope for a second. On the left, we've got our result clause. Otherwise, I would have hit the little girl. Over on the right, we're exposing the exact action that was avoided. The hidden blueprint is if I had not stepped on the brakes. What otherwise does is it looks backward at the previous sentence and basically says, hey, if the exact opposite of that had happened. It is a remarkably sophisticated tool, and we use it seamlessly every single day without a second thought.
All right, let's look at solving real-world scenarios.
So we've studied our 3 main clues. Now, let's rapid-fire match up a couple of everyday scenarios with their spoken sentences and unmask the grammar rules behind them. First row up, the noisy party. The spoken sentence is, the guests quieted down, otherwise the neighbors would have called the police. Our clue word, otherwise. The hidden grammar, if they hadn't quieted down. Pretty simple, right? Let's check out the second row. The dead phone, a true modern tragedy. The sentence, my phone would have died, but Gina had a charger. Thank goodness for Gina. Our clue here is but, and the hidden grammar we're implying is, if Gina hadn't had a charger. You can really see how these structures let us tell stories rapidly, focusing on the actions and results, rather than getting bogged down in all the hypotheticals. To kind of wrap up our grammar investigation here, I briefly want to show you the ultimate case file summary. This is chart 28 directly from the source material. Basically, the official rulebook on implied conditions. Seeing it laid out formally like this really proves just how foundational this hidden rule is. It explicitly states that often the if clause is implied, not stated, but conditional verbs are still used. It validates everything we've uncovered today. We aren't breaking the rules when we drop the if. Actually, scratch that. We're utilizing an advanced, completely correct feature of the English language.
So, there you have it. We have officially decoded the missing if. By spotting words like but, without, and otherwise, you can easily uncover the hidden meanings in the sentences all around you. So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on. What hidden conditions are you leaving unsaid today? The next time you tell a story about a close call, a big success, or a disaster avoided, just listen closely to your own words. You might just catch yourself expertly wielding the power of the implied condition. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, keep learning, and I will catch you in the next one.